So, you are very, very welcome back to my new YouTube channel, which is FPL Fix, where you're going to come to get your FPL fix. So, first of all, I would just love to thank everybody who's given me feedback. Um, I've got loads of feedback from a lot of people. Feel chuffed that so many people have watched the video and commented and sent me messages saying what they liked about the first video, what they didn't like, what things that could be improved on. So yeah, thanks a million for all that feedback. It's really beneficial. Just a couple quick little notes on my plans for the channel going forward. So I plan to invest in a condenser mic just to improve the quality. I apologize for the last video. I knew it was a little bit scratchy at times. So that condenser mic is ordered. Hopefully that will improve the audio quality. And then, I do aim to get proper animations in for a proper YouTube video. I'm looking at that, and then also looking at getting some music, bit of intro music, bit of backing music, just so it's a little bit more interesting when I'm talking and things like that. So all that feedback was given to me by lots of people, and I'd like to thank everybody for their input on that. So on to week one. Always an emotional reaction to week one. It's so hard to not be emotional. You get it something wrong, you get the captaincy wrong, your player that you bet on didn't start. There's so much going on in week one. There's so much uncertainty prior to week one that when week one comes and we all react to it, it's very difficult just to not react emotionally to it. But I would just my message really would be, don't panic. Don't hit that wild card and get all the players that did well in week one. Just sit back, relax, watch, see what happened in week one. Have a look at the results. Have a look at how teams played, how players played, who played, and don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. You're never going to get everything right. I didn't get everything right. I actually got very, very much so wrong in a lot of places. I only got 4 players that returned. These 4 players: Mitchell, Saiz, Aubameyang, and Salah. Crazy that I got 67 points when only 4 of my players returned. It just happened that 3 of those returns were quite high. But don't sweat it. Everyone's going to get things wrong, So I guess I'm just going to give a bit of a week one reaction. I did watch most of the games the weekend, if not all. I think the only game I didn't see a bit of was Leicester West Brom. So I guess we just go from the Saturday. Fulham made Arsenal look really, really good. Aubameyang scored, which was great. I had the captaincy on him, so as soon as he scored, I kind of relaxed a little bit, but didn't do anything more. Willian looked fantastic. He got 3 assists in that game. Should have got man of the match. It was just amazing. An interesting asset going forward. And yeah, not really much to say about Fulham really. Mitrovic not starting was a bit of a shock. I know he did play a friendly, international friendly the week before. Maybe he wasn't fully fit, but I know a lot. He had high ownership and he was a part of a lot of people's squad at that 6 million mark. So him not starting, one of them calls that people were very frustrated with first game in, and people are just like, oh, I got a call wrong, player didn't start. But yeah, so he does have good fixtures in the short term, and the medium term. So I wouldn't panic. He's going to play next week, so could do really, really well next week. So if you're a Mitrovic owner, don't worry about it. Palace 1-0, bit of a shock results. As I kind of outlined in my first video, I thought Palace would be kind of a bit dodgy defensively. They've so many injuries. Think they had Czech Kouyaté playing in their centre back league. Didn't really look like it was going to be a good performance. But Palace, they're just such, I suppose, traditionally such a good defending team, and they held out for the 1-0 win. I got the clean sheet for Mitchell, which was nice. Southampton didn't look great. I have 3 Southampton players, so all pretty much blanked. So not great on that front. But listen, you're not going to get everything right, like I said. Liverpool Leeds was the standout game, really. That 4-3 7-goal thriller. It was fantastic. I outlined in week one why I didn't have any Liverpool defenders. I just thought that those game week 2 and 3 fixtures were difficult, and they are difficult. And we see they've got Everton and Sheffield. They probably won't be high scoring games either. But we'll see. I'm happy not to have a Liverpool defender, as I outlined last week, and they did concede 3 goals against a newly promoted side. So Van Dijk didn't look great. I know he banged in that header, looks great on corners, but defensively, yeah, I know a lot of people were unhappy with the 1 point from Trent. I didn't have Trent in there. So I'm kind of happy not to have him in there for the first couple of weeks. That will probably change once I play my wild card, but for the first few weeks, happy not to have him. Salah hauled, scores a hat trick. I didn't get the captaincy right, but that's okay. You're not going to get everything right. A lot of people, if you did well this week, you had the captaincy on Salah, and if you didn't do well this week, in inverted commas, you didn't have the captaincy on him. I will just say he did score 2 penalties. It's very rare that a team gets 2 penalties in a game, but Salah did look very, very good attacking. I did mention in week 1 that's why you would pick Salah over Mane, is because he does have them penalties, and look, it did pay off. So very well done to you if you did get the captaincy right with Salah. Fair play to you. And Leeds just looked great. Like, Harrison scored a cracking goal. Bielsa, to give it a great. It's kind of a shame that they didn't get anything out of the game, but interesting to have a look at their assets going forward. Newcastle with a good result over West Ham. The new signings Wilson and the Irishman Hendrick combined for a goal piece, and I did have Wilson in an earlier draft at that 6.5 million point. It's an interesting. He's an FPL legend, not last year, but certainly the years before that. And at that price, he could do very, very well for Newcastle. So I keep an eye on him and keep him on your watch list. Newcastle's fixtures are mixed enough, but Wilson could do very, very well. Leicester, this is the game I didn't really see much of, but I know Vardy only scored. He did score twice, but there were 2 penalties. My reasoning not to go with Vardy was that I suppose Pereira's injured, Chilwell's been sold to Chelsea. Maddison was an injury doubt to start, and he didn't start. He started on the bench. So you've got to ask the question: who's going to be supplying Vardy with all these goals? He scored 2, but both of them were from the spot, so not from open play. So I wouldn't be mad to jump onto Jamie Vardy yet. He does have good fixtures, but we'll see. We'll see how that is going forward. I did watch the Spurs Everton game, unfortunately, as an owner of Kane and Doherty. Now, Doherty did get very, very far forward. He played pretty much in the same way that he did for Wolves last season. He was up in the right wing a lot of the time, getting really far forward. Happy to own him going forwards. Kane didn't threaten all that much. Had a couple of chances. Should have scored. Did a lovely little dink up to Doherty. I saw my name in lights when Doherty pulled the trigger, but the keeper made a great save. If that goes in, it's a 10-point swing for me. So that just tells you, fine margins. That's what FPL is. You're never going to get everything right, but I am content to own them going forwards. Really good fixtures, and I suppose Kane would be the person that I would maybe consider getting out just because he is holding 10.5 million. I described in my week 1 video why it's okay to have that 10.5 video or 10.5 million for him, that he can move down to either Kane, Werner, or anybody really in one transfer. Werner's been injury flagged, so did get the assist in the Brighton game. Looked rapid, looked dangerous. Thankfully didn't do much damage, because I know he's got 48% ownership, which is massive. And as a non-owner, it would have hurt if he did well. I'm not sure what Werner owners are going to do. I suppose maybe just wait for the week to see how much of a threat that injury concern is. He's 75% flagged, so just interesting. Keep an eye on that. I'm sure everyone with Werner is owner will be doing that. Reece James scored an absolute belter of a goal. Also got an assist, so he got 14 points. But Chelsea just don't look good at that great at the back. They've got Kepa in there. He let in another long range goal. Are they going to keep all that many clean sheets? James is a decent option of 5 million, but when Chilwell comes in there, Azpilicueta will probably go across to the right back position. Reece James probably will get a good bit of game time, and at 5 million, he's probably worth the punt. But are Chelsea going to keep that many clean sheets? Kind of, I suppose, along with similar to maybe a Liverpool defender, he can get an assist, maybe even score a goal, but unless that's been coupled with a clean sheet, you're never really going to get that big massive bonus. Speaking of big massive bonus and the double up between uh, a goal and assist and a clean sheet, we've got Saiss, and he's an absolute legend. I outlined in last week why I wanted Saiss over Vinagre. I said he was nailed on. He was nailed on. He could have scored a hat trick of headers in that game. He was man of the match. He made a goal line clearless. He was absolutely everywhere in that game. Bit of luck, getting 15 points out of him, but just delighted to own him going forwards. I know a lot of people maybe watching, they might have had Vinagre. Vinagre was tipped as a cheap way into that Wolves defence. He didn't even play, so I know people are a little bit peed off about that. But you're not going to get everything really right. But Wolves in general, they look just as strong as they were last season defensively. It's the way they play. They are without Doherty and without Johnny Otto, but they still look rock solid at the back, so I'm delighted to own Saiss going forward. I suppose if I look at my team for next week, it originally was my plan to put Martial in for Ings, with the 0.5 million I have in the bank. Now, Pulisic didn't play last week and has subsequently been injury flagged. I don't think I want to hold on to him just because of that, though. He sat on my bench, and I'm not content with 8.5 million sitting on my bench, nor should you be. So I guess my plan, I think now, is that I want Pulisic out and Greenwood in. That is my plan. Get that Manchester United asset in. Obviously, hoping that United don't sign Jadon Sancho. As a United fan, I'd love if that deal got done, but as an FPL fan, definitely hope not, because I do plan to put Greenwood in. And that's it. And that's my reaction to week one. That's my this is my team going forwards. And listen, I hope you had a great week one. And if you didn't, just a reminder, don't panic. Don't be hitting that wildcard button. It is only week one. It's very easy to get emotional and start reacting to game week one. But just remember, it's 37 game weeks left. Long season to go. I had a pretty mediocre score myself, 67 points, just outside the top million. So just thanks a million again for all of the feedback. Big plans for the channel, and I hope you have a really fruitful second week, and I hope you're enjoying FPL being back as much as I am. Thanks very much for listening to my stream of consciousness for the last couple of 10-15 minutes. Bit of feedback on this, like, comment and subscribe, all that jazz. I really appreciate it, and thanks very much.